I remember my kidneys fully shut down in 2010. I
Oh,
had a
wow.
PICC line that went from, I still have the mark right there, went from here all the way up for dialysis. I wouldn't accept it. I wouldn't accept the diagnosis. I wouldn't set up dialysis for home. I wouldn't accept it. And 21 days later, my
Life
kidneys
is all
came
the
back
same.
online.
We spend so much
Searching
time
for
overthinking,
treasure,
overprocessing, and trying to force
voices
outcomes in
rising
our
in the
lives
air.
and our businesses. But true
Feel the
leadership
buzz
requires an
everywhere.
entirely different approach, a willingness to release control and live from the heart. Tywanah's journey proves that when you stop making everything so
Days get
darn
dull,
hard and start operating with absolute
but feeling
certainty,
bold.
everything else aligns.
Laughter in the sound.
Leadership Sound
Words
Bites.
that
Real
carry you
leaders,
know.
real moments, real growth.
Welcome to the show.
Welcome to this to this week's episode of Leadership Soundbites with another very special guest, Tywanah Evette, also known as Thunderbird Rising, which I love. I just love that part. Shamanic healer, spiritual guide, founder of the Veil and the Flame, which I love that. If you can explain that to people, that would be awesome. I
Let's see.
met you because you were on a live with Sabrina and I think Christopher was on there
Yes.
too.
Yes.
And I thought, you know what, this is someone I need to meet. And that was a while ago.
It
And then
was. It
then we
was.
then we finally connected. So it's super cool. I'm glad to be in the room with you again. I totally enjoyed the discovery call that we had to connect on things. So I look forward to our chat. If you can explain to people, the veil and the flame, because I love that part of it. And I know you have a quote of your own to start off the
Absolutely.
conversation.
Absolutely. So my quote, I spoke this on, I think it was my third podcast.
Mm,
Wow. And I've been on over 100. Wow. That just hit.
I love it.
And he was like, you need to, patent, trademark, whatever you need to do, copyright it. That's your quote. And so my quote is most times our pain is our purpose. And that's my quote. And the veil and the flame.
Yeah, the veil and the flame. Can you share that? Because then I want to go back to why that quote as well. So yeah.
Absolutely. So the veil and the flame is because I am a shamanic healer and I'm a spiritual guide. So I spend part of my time lighting fires under people's heinies and part of my time on the other side of the veil with people who are no longer on this realm. So thus
I love
the
it.
veil and the flame.
I love it. It's cool because now I will forever remember that. And I love the lighting fires underneath people's heinies. So that's a good
Yes.
visual too. So thank you.
Yes.
So most times, and like I said when you first said it to me, it's more likely than not, not just most times, our pain is our purpose. Where did that come from? Where did it originate, and what does it mean to you in what you do, or at least who you are?
It came from my spiritual awakening
Okay.
and me realizing that the very things that I hid from this world for 32 years were the things that made me special.
Mm,
They're the things that make me me, uniquely me, what the divine called me to be. And they were so painful to carry. And once I released it, it was like, woohoo, yes. But it drove me into my purpose of aiding women on their healing journeys. Be it through the shamanic or through the spiritual guidance, or through readings. A simple reading
hmm
can change someone's life.
hmm
Or the lives I do, or the workshops I put on, or the summits I
hmm
host. I am here to change lives.
Yeah.
Um, and the very thing that I hid about the abuse that I endured is what makes me authentically me.
So I go a couple places when you talk about that, and one of it is I have to wonder, are we enduring pain, or could humans be enduring pain because they don't feel like they air quote fit in?
Hmm.
Um, or to your point, because I heard something else, the pain that you endured, that there was pain inflicted versus there's inflicted pain and then there's endured pain. Um, the sources can be different.
Hmm.
And so, and maybe that's the thing is that it can come from different places.
Hmm.
What you do with it, is that, and I think about, shifting, negative energy into positive energy. It's not about, you don't
Hmm.
delete it.
Transmutation.
Yes, it becomes something else.
Yes.
And we
You
all have
alchemize it.
that.
You
Yeah.
alchemize it.
So is that, I mean, say more about all of it, because part of it, like the whole idea with this podcast of leadership sound bites is for for people to be exposed to other humans that they might not otherwise been exposed to learn about different things that we can as leaders of our own lives before we lead anyone else that reports to us,
Hmm.
um, can be the best version of ourselves.
Hmm.
And part of that, there's a recurring theme lately about authenticity.
Yes.
And it's not just, well, that's just how I am.
No.
It is at your core who you are. It has to do with purpose and how you show up, but not just an excuse of that's just who I am kind of thing.
Never.
And
Never.
so, can you talk about that and share with, because you have a definite opinion and perspective on that, and especially with the journey
Absolutely.
that you've had. And I
Yes.
know you've got corporate blended into all the other stuff that doesn't feel corporate to a lot of people. So yeah, I would love to hear more about that.
So that's just how I am. No, it's not. That's how you were conditioned, but that's not how you are. You are who you choose to be.
Hmm.
We chose who we were going to be. We chose our parents. We chose our situations. We knew all of it coming in here. We just forget it. As children, um, once the schooling comes in and the no and the conditioning and the, parents who didn't heal. There's a lot of that in the Gen X who were raised by boomers, a lot of Gen Xers are struggling now because how do you heal? How do you heal what we went through? How do you heal not being looked after? How do you heal from your children walking away and telling you they hate you? Heal from that. Because the Webster's Dictionary, the resources we had growing up, the Webster's Dictionary, the thesaurus from 1891, and the Encyclopedia Britannica, if your family was fortunate enough to have both A through E and F through Z, um, did not tell us any of this. And so I exist and I'm in purpose because I took all the junk that was given to me that I signed up for and I changed it. I changed it. I stopped asking myself, why is this happening to me? And started saying, something's happening for me. What is it? You guys start talking. Everybody's quiet. Start talking. Um, because anytime there's resistance, I know something is happening for me. And I have to release control of whatever this resistance is surrounding. So, just as an example, um, I moved to Florida in November. My apartment has been a nightmare. It's been a nightmare. And I've been trying to hold on because my lease isn't up until October. And 3 days ago, there was a mass exodus. The building across the street, everyone moved out. And over the weekend, everyone moved out of this building and my neighbors got boxes. And I was like, you know what? This time, you guys are not going to have to. What are you doing? I'm out. I released the control over to my ancestors, and they led me exactly where I am supposed to be, which is places that I thought were condos. They don't even look like apartments. They don't advertise. They don't do anything. I just happen to call and then walk across the street. When I walked across the street, I felt, and when I tell you what it is, you're going to be shocked, but I felt this overwhelming sense of home and peace. But I knew I was being watched. I could tell there were spirits watching. And as I approached the leasing office, I realized why. It's an old plantation.
Oh, interesting.
Yes. And when I was leaving and I had my address and my apartment number that I saw exactly at my date of birth, time of day, and I kept seeing 214 everywhere. My apartment number's 14. Um, I was walking home and I asked my mother, why here? Why did you choose this space for me? And she said, you're here to clear the karma of the land. So if I was trying to control the narrative and continue on here, I wouldn't be doing my work as a shaman over there. So it's so important that we are tapped in, tuned in, turned up with our intuition, because situations like this go right into flow versus force. So I said I want more flow in my life and less force, and I got it.
But to
So
your point, you have to be paying attention
yes,
to what's going on because you could have just stuck your head in the sand, literally,
yes,
okay?
literally,
And this stuff would have happened around you and you would have missed it. So
yes,
it is this thing and I go from and I remember I was in a one of the trainings that I did when I was at Sutter Health and it was this training around see it, own it, solve it, do it. So it was leadership development for people. And so
right,
it was this thing from Partners in Leadership, and they have this basically pull yourself from victim mode into
right.
doing what you can do about stuff. And
Mhm,
so if people are in victim mode all the time, right?
mhm,
Pointing fingers,
mhm.
blaming other people, things are happening to me, not for me, all the stuff. Then we miss the opportunities to actually step in and do something about it, right? So see it, own it,
Indeed.
solve it, do it is about seeing the potential, the possibility. Where is it that I have control and a voice in what's going on?
Yes,
Because there is a place. We just
yes,
tell ourselves there's nothing.
right.
Puppy dog, there is a place.
Oh,
Um,
I know.
oh, well, no, because I remember from the last time with the little gate and all the stuff. But see it, own it, solve it, do it is this place of what is it? What can I do about it? Right?
Yes,
What
yes,
what is the thing I can do? And then go do it, which is the own it
yes,
part. And I was in this classroom with a bunch of leaders, and I was teaching, facilitating this content, and I said, this is it. You're either in victim mode or you're stepping out and stepping up and this one leader goes, I'm always in victim mode. I said, always? Yes. I said, do you ever come up for air? I mean, because literally you're underwater and not breathing and living.
no. You're in survival mode when you're in victim mode. You're
Exactly.
literally clenching at every
Yes.
noise, it's like.
Yes.
No,
I
no.
think the important part in the story that you're sharing, and I think in any moment, because there's plenty of people that are literally in that lower vibration and victim mode,
Yes,
and fearful. I mean,
yes.
because the narrative has been for so long,
Fear and
COVID
control.
exponentially shot it through the roof. Just that have put people in fear. And it breaks my heart when I see people walking down the street in outside with a mask on, driving in their car with a
Driving
mask
in the
on.
car with the
Yes,
mask on
yes, yeah.
alone.
Alone, yes. And I'm like, it just breaks my heart because
Yeah,
they've taken on all this stuff and they're so stuck in this fear-based existence
yes.
that I'm like, can we just start helping people get out of this?
And that's that's something that's so important to me. I had a client when I first moved here. I only charged her 10% of what I would normally charge somebody for
Yeah.
private psychic lessons. And she was stuck on television. And I said, how about you don't watch the news for one day, just one day?
Mm.
No, no. How can you live in this bubble? How can you live like this? Who cares about these gifts? Look what's going on in the world. And I'm like, our gifts are what's going to save us. This fear mongering, this control, it's a narrative that has been going on since the 1920s.
I was gonna say it's been a
And
while.
yeah, it's been since the 1920s. Um, Great Britain still owns this country. People don't know that. We do not own ourselves. We are a corporation. It even says it on our money. Corporation of the United States of America. It's just in small writing. So no one knows.
Everything's in small writing on those bills,
Exactly.
okay?
Exactly. It's like a pill bottle. Um, so the things that are happening are not shocking. They are right on time. Um, People like me, we don't watch television. I have one TV in my house because somebody gave it to me for free, and it's here in case I have company. I have not turned it on since my friend left February 22nd. Um, I don't listen to the news. I
Mm,
tell people not to send me anything news related. Yes, I live in my psychic bubble because I'm out here in the field doing the real work to help people heal their trauma and find
mm,
their purpose and their
mm.
gifts. Um, as well as apparently now clearing land. So
It's so exciting.
it is. It
So
is.
exciting. Did you move yet?
No, no, no. I move June 20th.
Okay. That's cool.
Yeah.
So you're gonna get the
Yeah.
boxes ready and you're just moving across the street?
But literally across the
I
street.
love that.
I'm so but it's so it's infuriating because pay movers to go across the street.
No, but you know what I think about, right, is it's all the stuff that led up to you being where you were to be able to see what you saw.
Yes,
So, I
yes.
mean, if you weren't where you were, you wouldn't have seen what you saw.
And that's what I said. I said, this place, what I realized, I didn't sleep the night, 2 nights ago. I did not sleep at all because I was, like, oh God, they're moving out. They're moving out. They moved out. The building across the street is
What's going
vacant.
on?
What is
What's
going
happening?
on? And that was when I just released it. And I sat outside in the morning and wrote in my journal. Did something called scrying, where
Hmm.
you close your eyes, you write from the subconscious. And when I read what I wrote, I was releasing the need to control
Mm,
behavior. And it wasn't 2 hours later. It wasn't even 2 hours later. It may have been less than an hour that I was scrolling, looking at places, and I looked at the address and I'm like, that's across the street. Where? I see condos across the street. I don't see apartments.
That's
And
funny.
yeah, they used to be condos and they're apartments, and the rent is $300 less.
Wow.
And I have two lanais instead of one.
Wow.
And I am 30 feet from the lake. That's my
Wow.
view. And comes with a washer and dryer, so this rental can go back.
Oh, I love that.
And I only have to pay half the rent for the next 4 months.
Oh my gosh.
So the ancestors just poured money into my
Oh,
pocket.
I love
But
that.
you see, this is the thing. We look for it has to be in our bank account, right?
Mm,
When we're asking for things, it's got to be that way. It can't be another way. I asked for abundance and prosperity.
hmm
I asked for a separate office space.
Oh,
I
perfect.
have a one and den and don't have to pay but 700 and change for the next four.
I love it.
That's abundance and
Yeah. Yeah.
prosperity. It just looks different.
Well, that and I think what you're saying too, and I know what you're saying because I've lived it, is um when we overthink and overprocess and the word worry and all that stuff comes up. Worry, there's no good that can come from worry ever, ever. And so it's like, think about what's happening around you. What do you have? What do you honestly have control of? What's yours to own?
Yes.
Okay. And I'm not talking about buying real estate, but what's
Nope.
yours to own and all the stuff that's going on? What are those levers that you can pull?
Mm-hmm.
And when we step into it, and I'm going to call it a knowing
Yes.
that things will work out. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, just a knowing. I don't have to know what it
No,
is, but
I
I just
know.
know, yeah, I just know it's going to work out. I
Mm-hmm.
don't have worry or stress or any of the other stuff. And so I show up fully present
Yes.
so that, like you said, you can look out the window and see all the stuff and put the pieces together and all that. Otherwise, you miss it because
Yeah.
other people go, I never saw that. Well, no, because you're
Yeah.
busy looking, to your point, the news and all that is curated
Mm-hmm.
to increase and it
Distraction.
feeds into the subconscious that the subconscious is always looking for danger. Okay, we're hardwired that way from hunter-gatherer days. And so the news outlets are feeding what our subconscious is hardwired to be looking out for.
Yes.
And it's a validation of what our subconscious believes to be true. I told you it's not safe out there. I
Mm-hmm.
told you all
Mm-hmm.
these da 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 manipulating. And so there's
Mm-hmm.
no good that can come from it. And what I've told people that I've talked to and a friend of mine is if you read something or see something and it you have an emotional reaction, it triggers you. And I'm not talking about abused animals because I'm sorry,
Mm-hmm.
that's a
That's
different subject. I'm going to put that over here. But it triggers you because of something that the news is reporting. Fact check it. Don't go and get all worked up like this is the truth. Go and actually check it with some
do
large
some
language model.
research.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
do Claude, do Gemini, do
Mm-hmm.
Grok,
Mm-hmm.
do
Mm-hmm.
ChatGPT, and go,
Yep.
hey, here's the picture of the thing, or here's the
Right.
article. I want
Right.
you to fact check this for me.
Yep.
And then 99.9% of the time, it comes back and says, yeah, this didn't happen.
Nope.
It didn't happen. And so realize that there's stuff out there that are honest to God lies.
Yes.
I mean, they're lies.
And
So
they're man-made.
the stuff that we believe growing up that, well, it's on the news or it's in the writing or
All
so, there's got
lies.
to be truth. And it's like, but does
Nope.
it? But does it? So that's all I'm saying to people. I'm not going to debate whether or not this is true or not. I'm not going to debate it. I'm going to encourage you to go do your own fact checking before you get yourself worked up because you're not doing yourself any favors
No.
When you're
wreaking
operating
havoc on
from
your
a
health.
stress mode, yeah.
Yes, you're wreaking havoc on your health. Your organs
Yes.
cannot take that.
Yes.
Your organs cannot take it. My
No.
kidneys, I remember my kidneys fully shut down in 2010. I
Oh,
had a
wow.
PICC line that went from, I still have the mark right there, went from here all the way up for dialysis. I wouldn't accept it. I wouldn't accept the diagnosis. I wouldn't set up dialysis for home. I wouldn't accept it. And 21 days later, my kidneys came back online.
But what did you do differently between that point and when they came back online?
I believed.
Okay.
For the first time, I really sat down and believed that that was not my life.
Okay.
100%. And the
Okay.
doctors kept pumping me. They were putting all types of stuff in my cocktails, in my IV to anti-anxiety, antidepressant, because you're not dealing with reality.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, no, you're not dealing with reality.
Mm-hmm.
I get to control what my body does. My kidneys are not dead. And they're like, you're on the transplant list. And I'm like, I don't care what paper says. I'm not setting up dialysis. I would sit, I always have notebooks, but I had a notebook about twice
Mm-hmm.
this thick.
Oh, wow. Okay. A big one.
Yeah. And I would sit there and write all night. My kidneys are fully functioning. My kidneys are
Mm-hmm.
fully functioning. And I had a notebook that thick with pages and pages and pages of my kidneys are fully functioning. And 21 days later, he walked in my room. And this man was from Nigeria. He was a very darker skinned man.
Mm-hmm.
And he was my color,
Mm-hmm. Oh,
as pale as could be. And he's like, I don't know what you believe in, but I've never seen this. I said, yes. He said, your kidneys are fully functioning. I said, great. Now, can you take this out of me so I can go home to my kids? He said, I, I've never seen anything like this. Um, well, now you see it. Now you see it.
but the
So it's,
big difference was, and I go back to a quote of thoughts become things.
mm-hmm,
You had certainty.
mm-hmm,
And at some level, because it's not just writing, right? There
right.
is a passion, emotion, intensity behind what you're, a certainty behind the words that you
Yes,
were writing, a belief behind the words that you were writing, that
yes.
you were in that present moment of a body with fully functioning kidneys. And I
Mm-hmm,
think to Dr. Joe Dispenza and the work that he does, and it's along those same lines that when it comes back online that way, that we have that belief with certainty, then the body just catches up with what the mind knows to be true.
yes.
And it's like I guess we're healthy and and stuff happens quickly because we're
Yes.
no longer owning sick. We're no longer owning victim. We're no longer owning it can't be done, which is why the flip of the switch can happen
Mm-hmm,
so quickly when we just change what our thoughts are, what's coming out of our mouth, what we believe to be true, and we start operating in a space that it's happened.
mm-hmm,
It is
mm-hmm.
positive. Life
It
is
is so.
good. Yes.
Mm-hmm,
And everything else aligns and catches up. And I'm not saying life is without its bumps. Like you said, you had all this stuff with the apartment and everything else. But at no point do you fall in like this stuff's happening to me.
no.
It's like there's a joke from years ago that I heard, and it was about this pessimist and optimist. And this is where it comes from, right? I mean, this is where the thinking comes from. Is the joke was, the story goes, is that they had this pessimist optimist kid, and they took the pessimist kid and put him in a room full of brand new toys. Everything was beautiful. And then the positive, the optimist kid, they put him in a room full of horse manure.
Mm-hmm.
And so they came back later to check on these kids, and the pessimist was sitting in the corner going, I'm going to break one. I'm just going to break one. I'm not going to touch him. I'm going to break one. I just know it. And they go check on the optimist kid, and he's frantically digging through this horse shit in this room. And he looks up and he goes, I know there's a pony in here somewhere.
I love it.
But that's the thing that if you go
Yes.
in with that view of all the crap that can be going on, there's a lesson in here. There's a gift, there's an
Yes.
opportunity, there's something that gets us to the next level as long as we're open to seeing it and looking for it.
Yes. 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 We have to be open. And in that space is where I would segue into living from our heart space as the divine feminine. To receive, our heart space has to be open. And if we are living in our lower three chakras, we cannot have an open heart space. It's called survival mode. The lower three chakras are called survival mode. Um, and we go through life thinking that all we have to do is a vision board and stare at it long enough, and this $1 million house is going to come into our lives, right? And it's like, no, that's really not how things work. I mean, you got a little bit of it, but you have to embody not only what you're asking, the frequency, the lifestyle, all of it before it comes in. Because you can't receive when you're living in your lower three. You're going to receive more things to stress about, more things to be concerned over, more things to, you'll get a blessing here and there, and they'll see what you do with it, and you worry and you stress and you try to control, and they're like, okay, she hasn't learned her lesson. Let her go down the rabbit hole even more. And that's what happens. But after you start living from your heart space, really tapping in between the heart and the third eye, and you release control, then you can receive. A lot of us women have a problem with receiving because we were raised to give our last, give the shirt off your back, give them another chance. Oh, he didn't mean it. He said he just got angry. Give him another chance. We were raised to be givers when in fact women were designed to receive. That was our divine design. You never saw the goddesses in Egypt out there with the peasants, you know, um, giving them gifts. No, you saw them sitting in the chairs, and people would crush up beetle wings to make eyeliner, bring to the goddess. They receive. Royalty receives. We're not always giving.
Mm-mm. Well, and I
And
think
as
what
women, we have
scares,
to learn that.
yeah, and I think what happens too is it can be scary because I get it with the lower chakras. I find a lot of times people are just operating from their analytical headspace.
Hmm.
Um, and the encouragement I give them is we don't connect with people from up here, we connect with them here.
Yeah.
And so it's one of those things that um, drop down, and it can be
Hmm.
scary for people
Hmm. Hmm.
because they could feel vulnerable and at risk, all this
Yes.
stuff. And that's where the biggest rewards are, is when, because this is where we connect. This is where people feel
Yes.
our intention. And
Hmm.
I've had leaders before go, they were pissed off about something, and it's like, it doesn't matter. I just put a smile on my face and people don't know. And I said, yeah, they do. Yeah, they do. Because whatever you're feeling enters the room long before you
Energy.
do. Yeah. And I
Energy
said, so
never
don't, yeah,
lies.
don't kid yourself. They know. They know. So it is, yeah, it's an interesting thing. And I'm excited for people that I've watched the shift,
Mm-hmm.
as I'm sure
Mm-hmm.
you have, and people that you've
Yes.
been in the room with and helped. And it just, I have so much hope. I have so much hope. So yeah.
So do I. As I watch the women awaken, oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. We are rising up. That's been my word. And my mother dropped that in as a download last year. She
I
said,
love
your
it.
word for next year is rise.
I love it.
And for me, it stands for reclaiming intuition, self-love, and empowerment.
Ooh, wow. Okay. Mine's curiosity. And it has a lot to do with the stuff, Tawana, that you were talking about, where we release control.
Mhm.
And so, mine is just to step in to life and the stuff that I do with curiosity, the rooms that I'm in, all that
I
stuff.
love that. I love
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
I have a friend, and she's a medium as well, but she has a business, and her thing is curiosity. Her thing is playful curiosity as well.
My word last year was playful.
Really? That's interesting. Oh
Yeah,
my
that's
goodness.
funny. That was my word last year. And it was
That
hard.
is,
That was a
it is,
hard word. It was a really hard word.
it is,
Um,
it
but
is.
yeah, this year was curiosity. Yeah, but last year was playful. That's funny.
It is, it is.
Funny.
That's no, well, no, nothing's ever ironic.
No,
Um,
no.
but yeah, this year Mama gave me Rise, and I'm seeing Rise everywhere.
Isn't that funny?
I'm seeing it everywhere. Like a lady last night, I was on an event last night, and it was called Rise in Love.
Wow.
And yeah, and she made it an acronym as well. Hers is
Oh,
slightly different, but we both have the intuition there.
oh, I love
Um,
that.
yes, and it's beautiful. So this year has been my rising. Um, and it's going to continue to my rising.
Yeah, I have no
It's
doubt. I have no
it's
doubt.
amazing.
Yeah.
So good.
Yeah. I so appreciate time in the room with you. And I could just continue and hang out for long periods of time, but
Same, same.
that's not going to be good. Yeah. Um, what in closing, as we wrap up, what are one or two things you, your mom, want people to walk away with if she wants to have a voice in this?
I can't say that. Stop making everything hard. We make it hard. Life's not hard. We choose to make it hard by not releasing control. So give up the control to your spirit team because they're on the other side. They know more than we do. They've gone through their lessons. They went through this earth life. They've gone through their lessons. We've got angels, ancestors, guides, deities, otherworldly beings, spirit animals, spirit children, all of them. And they are all far wiser than this brain remembers. Um, put your life in their hands. They know where you're going because they chose you to go there. And trust with all your heart and soul. Trust.
Thank
When
you.
you do that, life changes in ways that you never could have imagined.
Yeah. Um, Thank you. The thing that I would add, and it's funny because I'm in the room with a lot of different leaders and coaching and stuff. Um, Encouraging them to pay attention to their gut, their intuition.
Yes.
comes up way more than what anybody might imagine because that guidance is there. We do have to learn to trust it. It's when we override it
Yes.
that we lose our way for a bit.
Yes.
And so it's a matter of too reflecting, and I
Mhm.
encourage people to do that.
Mhm.
Things that worked well, think back
Mhm.
to what was your gut, what was it telling you? Things that
Mhm.
didn't go so well, think back to what was your gut, what was it telling you?
Exactly.
Because I think that's the evidence
Mhm.
that some
The
people
things
may
that
be
are
looking for
Mhm.
to say, okay, sure, yeah, because a lot of times we just need evidence.
We do. We do. Sometimes.
So I
But
will put
when you're tapped in,
contact,
you
huh?
don't. I
Oh, no,
said,
go ahead.
unless you're tapped in, and then
Well, yeah, but a lot of us have just blocked all that.
yeah.
Um, I I get inklings of stuff and I'll find myself walk around the house and talk to my parents or my dad mainly.
Uh-huh.
I'm like,
Uh-huh.
okay, I see it, I hear you.
Uh-huh.
And I just smile and say thank you when repeat numbers show up. I'm like, okay,
Yes.
thank you, you're here.
Yes. Yes.
And it's just comforting, in all honesty. It's just
It is.
comforting. So yeah, it's
I
a
would
good
agree.
thing.
I
Yeah,
would
it's a
agree.
good thing. You're awesome. And
Thank
if
you.
you ever want to do this again, please just book time and we'll chat because um, there's just valuable reminders for people in conversations like this that,
Yeah.
to your point, we make it harder. It doesn't have to be.
Mhm.
So yeah, so don't.
Just stop.
Yeah,
Like I
yeah,
said, the day I laid on my living room floor in a horrible apartment and just said, I surrender. And I said it over and over again. And the next day, my life changed. As I surrender more and more and more to them, the next day, my life will change. Literally, literally. As I give up more and more control the following day, whatever it is that I was asking for, calling in, or trying to make happen, so surrender.
yeah. It's easier said than done, and I agree. Yeah, but it's about faith and trust and all the stuff. But
Mm-hmm.
just think about those times that you did, and we do overcomplicate things. So
Mm-hmm.
thank you.
Thank you.
Um,
Thank you.
I will put contact information for you. So if there's other stuff, I have it on LinkedIn, but I'll put it so people can get a hold of you. Um, and yeah, well, thank you. Thanks for your time and the chat and all that stuff. And until
Absolutely.
next time, this has been Leadership Soundbites with Michele and Tywanah and our puppy dog who's down there. And have an awesome day. Thank you.